Stefania, it is the song that is going to represent Ukraine at the Eurovision Song Contest 2022, written by the Kalush Orchestra band. And as far as it is written in the Ukrainian language, many of you have not understood a word. But you are curious to know about that, and I am a philologist who is usually working with texts, so that's fine. Hello everyone, my name is Eugene, I am a university teacher and yes, I teach also translation studies. So in this video I'll give you step by step the lyrics, the translation and the analysis of this wonderful piece of art. So let's start with the first part, which is verse. We start with the hook, with the verse. So it tells, Stefania, mom, Stefania, the field is coming into blossom while she is turning grey. Sing a lullaby to me, mom, I want to hear your mother tongue. So this is a son who is singing the words of love to his mother. So he is addressing her in the first person first, mom, and then he's addressing her in the third person, like she. Why is that? So this is the first bell that there is something happening in their relationships, and we'll find out that a bit later. And also he asks her, please sing a lullaby to me. So I want to hear your mother tongue. I want to hear that matherine, that specific way of speaking to a child which a mother can imitate with her voice, and thus enhancing cognitive abilities and linguistic abilities of a child. Have you known about that? So please go and Google. But this song is not about teaching foreign languages or learning or upbringing children. This is more about mother-child relationships. So as the second part goes, so he says, she, my mother, right? She would rock me, give me the rhythm and probably the willpower for nobody to ever take it away, cause it is the one that she gave. It is very important to put here the stress, so she, I mean the mother, Stefania, who is the real person, the mother of the frontman of the band, and she was at the concert where they made a performance, a winning performance. So she here is portrayed as some supernatural figure, as some image of the mother who is like a strong foundation of identity of the son. She is the source of his confidence and power, and that's very important to keep in mind, because as he goes he says, probably she, my mother, knew even more than Solomon, so she was very wise, she even knew his future maybe. I will always come to you by the broken roads. So whatever happens, I will go back to my mother. She will not alarm nor wake me up as the strong storms rave. So she will protect me like a shield, whatever happens, even if some tragedy or something really bad happens. She will take away two thick signs from my grandmother's grip, okay, as if they were bullets. So what's that thick signs and why to take that from the grandmother's grip? Okay, I will give you here some more cultural information. So in Ukraine we use this sign as a bad sign, insultive sign, but it used to have several more meanings. So it was called in Roman Empire manufika, and it was used as a word, protective word against the bad, evil spirits that would come to your home with the ancestors. So the grandmother, as the oldest representative of the family, would show this sign to the other members of the family just to protect them from the evil spirits. So basically it would translate into all the evil spirits go away. Whatever, but no, nowadays, frankly speaking, nobody's using that meaning and that sign in that meaning, just like you do not use the phrase frankly speaking. So the second meaning is to deny request in a very rude way. So basically it translates into you will get nothing from me. No way. Maybe, probably, I think so. Ukrainian culture, Ukrainian history has been filled with so many cases when Ukrainian people, Cossacks or whoever they were, had to show these signs to all the invaders, occupants, and some foreign forces who would come to this place and usually just want to rape it. So this is what they showed to them, like, so this is what you're going to get, nothing from us. Have you heard about Ukrainian hospitality? Of course, it is so famous and well known. Whenever you come to Ukraine, so the first thing your friends would do, invite you to their house, give you as much food as possible, feed you to the absolutely inability to eat anything, and would expect definitely from you a compliment about their cooking skills. This is true, but there is also a concept of Ukrainian hostility, dula. So Ukrainian matryoshka, you are welcome. Whenever you want to come to this place and invade us, take our land and make something bad, so this is what you're going to get. And there is third meaning to that dula sign, so it is just insult. It's Ukrainian F word, definitely, so fake F word. Probably not that rude as in the English language, but what about grandma's figs? Why are they here? It is the thing that in gangsters community and in gangster traditions, dula sometimes also is translated as gun. So when you take dula from the pocket, it means you take a gun, and in this song in particular we have this comparison, this metaphor of dula and bullets, as if they were bullets. So mother is protecting a child from any bad influence or spirits or whatever, or whoever comes in the person of in the face of her his grandmother or somebody else, whatever. So as we go on in these lyrics, we can read also, she knew, my mother knew me like nobody else. She was not deceived. Even though she was fatigued, she would rock me to the beat. And then we have the lullaby, the only place where the mother is given voice and she is singing Liuli, 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 which is not translated in any way. It is just a melodious, very wonderful combination of sounds to make a child sleep. But what about this, she knew me like nobody else? So it means that they had very intimate relationships and he could not have any secrets to his mother because she would work like a scanner. She would look through him, see him through, and that's the thing, you know, about your mothers as well. So this is the first part of the song. In this part of the song, this young man is in the arms of his mother and she is singing a lullaby. And this is a very, I would say, a traditional gangster narrative. So they usually sing about their mothers, and because their mothers is a symbol of something intimate, true, and something that is the beginning of your foundation. But as we go through the second part of the song, there is some kind of a crisis in their relationships. So definitely we have this verse again, this refrain or the chorus. So Stefania, mom, mom, Stefania again. And then we have the second part, which says, hey, mom, mom, I'm not in diapers, so no need to swaddle me. So basically, I'm not a small child. Then he says, stop, no matter how grown up I am, paying for my things for growth. In the 90s, in Ukraine, there was such a difficult economical situations that parents would usually buy things or clothes for their children for growth. So just a little bit too big for them to grow in a couple of seasons. But yeah, I'm sure it happened in some other countries as well. In this verse, however, it is a symbol of this growing out of this habit, right? So he's trying to be more independent. And there is a wonderful dialogue between the mother and the son here. So he says, I'm not a small child. And she doesn't reply, but there is a phrase, she keeps losing her temper. And he says, I was just hanging out, I was just having fun with girls, because gulaty in Ukrainian means to have fun, but well, in a romantic way. And she replies, Szlak by tebe trafił, which is Ukrainian dialectic idiom, meaning just scolding somebody, like, oh my goodness, or how can you, how dare you, or if you translate it literally, so it would be I wish you had a stroke. How come I wish you had a stroke? So it translates from the original German phrase. Actually, this phrase, Ukrainian phrase, originates from the German, but really nobody now is considering it as I wish you had a stroke. It is just a funny way to scold somebody. But what does it give us to understanding of this song is that there is some kind of betrayal in relationships between the son and the mother. So he feels guilty for what he has done, or probably for this breakout in their connection. So he goes on and says, well, you are all young, oh mother, you are in your prime. But if I do not value your care at the peak of my glory, at the peak of my fame, of my success, I am in the dead end. So go lay the spades. Oh, this go lay the spades has also metaphorical meaning, so it's like kill me with the peak of the spades. Have you seen the spades from the cards? So it actually symbolizes the tool of killing. The spades or a sword. Yeah, nowadays, well, we have a leaf sign, but it still have a pick, and you can kill somebody with that, or you can harm somebody with that. And finally, so he says, I could sting you with the fire blade of my love, which translates, okay, it was difficult to translate in Ukrainian. In the original we have the phrase which says Я би попік спік своєю любов'ю, so I would burn with my love, burn all over with my love. Okay, if I translate it literally, but there is a metaphor definitely. So my love is so sharp it can sting you with a fire, or like a fire. Or to love you, mom, is like touching a blade of fire. So definitely we can see here that this is the end of the story. So he is surrendering, he is not rebelling here, he is coming back to his mother, and probably it is implied he is dying. He is dying just to go back to that state of being lullabied to sleep like a metaphor of death. And then we can hear again the voice of the mother, she is singing a lullaby, and then we have the choruses, two choruses, they are just repeated. So traditionally Ukrainian soldiers or Ukrainian Cossacks, as they went to the war, they would sing these lullaby songs as the last song that you would remember before you die. And yeah, I cannot say there is a tradition, of course, to that, but this is a clear metaphor to me, like dying and going to sleep. Again, this love and fire. So to love you is like touching a blade of fire, a very nice metaphor. But this is just a local story, so let's sum it up. This is a story of a son experiencing some crisis of relationship with his mother, starting from a really intimate relationship, then going through the crisis, and then surrendering and going back to love and accepting her again, but through a very significant sacrifice. Now, as we go back to Ukrainian context, because usually any song at Eurovision stage has many layers, just like an onion. So at the center you would have here just the melody, this melodical narrative, and some songs they do not have any narratives, they are just for fun and for the atmosphere. However, most of the songs have the narrative. Then we have the lyrics narrative, so this is the local story in the text. And then definitely we have the personal story of the singer, which is in our case the same thing, because well, Stefania is his mother, and this is probably a song about his mother, but at the same time it is a bit more than his mother. And then we have the local political narrative, because this song represents the country in the eastern part of Europe, the country in war, the country in 2022. That's why we cannot go by give some kind of political context to that. And the political context to this song is based on this imaginary of the text itself. So we have here the mother, which symbolizes Ukraine. It has many children. It protects her children from the bullets. She gives them willpower. She gives them identity. She cares for them. She loves them. And then we have the image of a son. So a son is like Ukrainian people who love their country, probably soldiers who die for their country, and they have to die to hug their mother, right? To hug their country, because there is always some kind of a third party. So the third party is represented here by grandmother, bullets, storms, broken roads, spades, growth, or even achievements. So this fame, it also can be in between these relationships of these two. So what we have here, the message, which is a bit more extended to do not make Ukrainians die for their love to their country. And this is a very powerful message because it refers to the actual political situation in the country. And when we read these words about «Я бы спік своєю любов'ю», I would burn with my love, some Ukrainians can clearly hear some allusions to what has happened in Debaltseve. So that was the place, and well, that was an accident when a huge part of Ukrainian army was literally destroyed and burned to ashes by the military troops of Russia. And you could still find and Google some pictures or even videos of those terrible of that terrible place and that terrible moment of Ukrainian history when these bodies of the soldiers were burned out and were just on the ground. I know it is terrible, but this is reality, and this is the political situation, and this is the song that represents this country with this history. So that's why it resonates with Ukrainians, and I think this song will be really a very representative for that matter. But what does this song have to say to the world? Is there some kind of global message out of Ukrainian context? Of course. So in this song we clearly see the image of the son, the modern generation which is trying to be more independent and probably build its own identity, and the ancestors. So this image of mother who is singing a lullaby and who is, I would not say even the ancestor, because there is a cycle. So you start from your mother and then you go back to this metaphorical mother who is singing a lullaby to you. But you can return to this mother, to this feeling of truth and this intimacy only by giving a sacrifice. Yes, so the growth is the thing that you get and all the benefits with the growth, but as well you need to sacrifice them to go back to this state of intimacy, this purity, and this this identity's sense of belonging. Yep, so that's probably my thoughts and my considerations about this song. I tried to do my best as far as I could, but it was really difficult with a rap song. So please write down your comments, and maybe you have some other interpretations. I'm completely open to that, so please give me your thumbs up if you have liked this video and share this video with your friends. So if you have some other questions, so please leave them below. Maybe I have missed something, so yep, I will try to consider it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time, maybe next Eurovision. See ya!